Hello, hello. This is Paper Cuts Included coming to you live from the Ninja Turtle sleeping blanket, and that's how I know it's legit. Today we're going to be doing an under the microscope video of Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, the epic comic label issue 2. Before we get into that, if this is your first ever Paper Cut Included video, we are a comic book YouTube channel dedicated to talking about what we love, and what we love is comics, baby. We talk about comic books, comic book art, art in general, artists, our own journeys as an artist. We just do it all. It is read by me and my two co-hosts. One you have met before, Dylan, and one is a mysterious man in the back corner who will maybe be here for our 40th subscriber special. Um, that's right. We're almost at 40 subscribers. That was our summer goal. We're only 3 away. We're at 37 right now. Once we get to 40, we're going to be doing a big celebration for it. I'm going to be raffling off some artwork. We might be messing around with a live stream. Who knows? But all you got to know is it's going to be big. So just 3 more subscribers to go. Um, so we look at comic books under a technical aspect. What I mean by that is, yes, I'll talk about the story, but I'd say it's more of me talking about what works, what doesn't art wise, what's the artist history, what's my experience with the book, and just look at it, like I said, under a microscope. We're seeing how the book works on a technical aspect. And to prove I'm an artist, I'll show off one of the pieces I'm working on right now. That being a humongous print. I do a lot of printmaking, and I've been rewatching the Mad Max movies. So this is humongous from the Road Warrior. So hopefully I'll get this done by June. Or hey, maybe this will be another piece I can raffle off in the 40 subscriber special. Maybe I'm planning on giving away 2 pieces right now, but hey, maybe it'll be 3. If you want to see more of my artwork, more of my co-host artwork, one of my co-hosts, Dylan's been doing all the thumbnails for the videos. He's been knocking out of the parks with all of them, especially the ones he draws himself. And you can find both of our arts on Instagrams. Links will be in the description. Instagrams, TeePublics, where you can find our stickers, t-shirts, mugs, etc. And maybe one day even the thumbnails will become stickers. But no, today we are going to be looking at Cadillacs and Dinosaurs under the Epic Comic publication, issue number 2. I think our first ever Under the Microscope video was for the number 1. And I gotta say, this book's a little bit of a mixed bag. It has really strong points, but it also has really weak artistic points, in my opinion. Some of it looks like the panels are phoned in. I think this was coming out when the cartoon was coming out, so Schultz might not have had all the time in the world to work on them or have his input in on them. So I think he might have got flustered and the art might show it. But that's just my opinion. Before we get into it, is the cover successful? That's a segment we do with every one of these videos. And what I mean by that is one of the ways that, you can make money, or you should make money, is selling your books if you're a comic book artist. And one of the best ways to do that is have a great cover. Have a cover that'll people come pick up your book, buy it. You got to find out some way to, sell your books. And a great cover can be a big and crucial step to doing it. You always need covers that sell, 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 sell. I know that might sound capitalistic of me, but you need a way to keep the lights on your studio, a pen and pencil in your hand, and a cheeseburger in your belly. So having a good cover helps do that. And is this cover successful? I think it is. It is not as iconic as, let's say, the first issue or some of the other covers, but it's still a really cool cover. People who like prehistoric comics or just dinosaurs, I think are going to gravitate towards this cover. It's a full action scene. If a kid walks in, it's like, ooh, that looks cool, they're going to pick it up. Or an adult, not just saying comics are for kids, which they're not, they're for everyone. But I think it's a solid cover. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It's, doesn't break the mold, but it's also not a weak cover. So, I think people are going to pick it up, but I could still see people walk past it. So let's just bust it open and get right on into it. And so, like the first issue, this is a episodic comic book. I believe it's 3. Yep. The first and second issue are split up into 3 stories in each issue. I don't know if that's going to be for the whole series, but I like it. It gives really good pacing, gives more feel to the world, and that's an interesting way you can do about your book. Like we talked about in some videos, or all your videos, think out of the box. What can you do for your comic to make it different? And one of the things I'm going to remember about Cadillacs and Dinosaurs is this 3-story approach to the book itself, you know? and just really good artwork in this front page. You know, a really well done building. The story is somehow some cataclysm hit the earth, and you know it's about the survivors trying to rebuild life while there's prehistoric life around them. So you know they're all a good thing about this book is they're almost self-contained in at least the first and second. Like there's callbacks to the first issue and the stories in it, but you don't really need to read them. Like you're not gonna lose a whole lot by not. But yet they do refer to stuff like how so our main character, one of them, Jack Cadillacs, been hauling some people coming to this mining camp. In the first issue, one of them gets killed, and they talk about it. You know, just don't talk about it. It's like, hey, yeah, you're gonna be missing a miner. So it gets to the mine finally, and apparently there's some problems happening. You know, your classic almost western tale. You know, your stranger from out of town comes in, and he's got to kill the local baddie. But no, I just like it. I think it's really good artwork. I think it's really cool how he put these two figures right there. I think it kind of just makes the piece complete. I think without them, it would not be as strong of a piece, which I could be crazy for saying. But no, let's keep going. One of the things I don't like is this character design right there. I don't. What's his name? Strunk. I don't like Strunk's design. You know, I think that's one of the lousier points is whenever Strunk's on, he looks kind of phoned in. A lot of the close-up panels, so I don't. You know, comparing like a great panel like that with all these figures doing different motions, great body work, and then this kind of, you know, phoned in head. The dinosaur looks great, and this, you know, it does read as a classic. You know, I feel like I'd see that in a Hal Foster comic, you know, but this ain't a Hal Foster comic. This is Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, you know, or compare this panel to that panel. And not every panel is going to be as good as, you know, there's going to be weaker panels, there's going to be strong panels, there's going to be your strongest panel and your weakest panel. And so that's just part of it is, you know, I don't really like his design. He just looks like a generic goon, which I guess he's supposed to be in a way, but it just doesn't look that good. You know, some artists would do it a lot different. I do like the close-ups of Cadillac though. I just think they're done really well. Like the subtlety of the background colors, even the speech bubbles look like it's a great work. I will say Mark Schultz's artwork kind of comes off as pop art sometimes, which is cool. They even do the dots in the background, which I don't know if that was in issue 1. I need to go back and check because that'd be cool if it was or wasn't. And I just like it a lot. It does, you know, that's why I say it has that pop art effect. It has those Lichtenstein dots, if you know what I mean. But no, they got to go out and kill a dinosaur that's been kind of hurting the miners, you know. And Jack Cadillacs, nope, this dinosaur it don't come out to attack. Someone provoked it, you know. Did they say what's Oh, yep. So, you know, he's strong saying, yep, this dinosaur's been attacking us. We don't know why. He's just doing it all of a sudden. And Jack Cadillac, and a very cool character moment because he's very, you know, environmental in a way where, you know, he respects the law of the nature. You know, he realizes that, like, you know, I'm just a small being in the cog of nature, you know? And he's like, nope, someone hurt that dinosaur. They're not just going to attack out of random. And I think it's you because you know, realize the private parts of this dinosaur will fetch more than anything this mine produces on the black market. So just a cool little moment, a great little, you know, I like that part that Mark Schultz does. Is his character, you know, is kind of one with the world. You know, I like that a lot about him. He could have easily been a strunk character where it's like, ooh, I'm going to go hunt all the dinosaurs because that's a way to do a comic. You know, a lot of people would gravitate towards that too. Whereas every issue, he's hunting a dinosaur or just killing a dinosaur for no reason. But instead, you have them just kind of just one with nature. And I like that a lot about him. I think it shows restraint that this is not just a, you know, a hunter book, if you will. And that's just stuff you can do to kind of think outside of the box. Is, you know, you're showing your character just little character things here and there is stuff you're going to remember. Like I'm going to remember now that the main character is kind of like a Smokey the Bear figure in a way, you know, with his heroine coming or heroine, I don't know. But no, they're going to kind of they're gonna catch this dinosaur and whack him in the head. And just some great panels here. I do love a lot of them. Some of them are kind of weaker. Um, I don't know, just some of the close-ups I don't like a whole lot. Like they're fine, but I feel like they need a lot more detail to look good, and that detail's not there, so they just kind of look flat, they look boring. But just the big panels of art look good, or he is a great action comic artist, but he's not great at the dialogue. I feel like to me, a lot of stuff, like that panel and that panel, they do come off flat, very flat actually. Whereas panels where he's showing that movement, so he's probably still learning. I'm not gonna crap on him, like call him a horrible artist, because he's not. I'm never gonna say anyone's a horrible artist. These are the wrong types of videos. If you want me being like, well, this is the greatest artist ever, or this is the worst artist ever, because that's not what I do. I just talk about art. And, I'm giving my opinion. And my opinion here is his panels, this look at it through the lens of, how to better do talking heads. We've looked at really good examples like Love and Rockets, Michael Allred books, and I feel like these are weaker examples of, leaning towards that negative aspect. And so you can learn as much as from a bad example than you can from a good example, in my opinion. But no, great artwork with the dinosaur. Anytime a dinosaur is on the panel, it looks amazing. Just great figure work. Great, I don't know if he was using. It just looks like great classic sci-fi dinosaurs. Those claymation monstrosities. And a cool character moment here is our male antagonist doesn't kill the dinosaur. It's the female. The male's gun gets jammed and she's using it. And I love the emotion that he's using. The pow pow pow, and he gets so nervous and so does she when you know they realize his gun's jammed and that thing's getting super close. And just a great pop art right there. If this wasn't in a comic book, I'm sure I would have studied this in my survey of art class in college. Because that just screams pop art. Does it have the Liechtenstein dots on it? It does. So even more so pop art. I wonder if Schultz really liked those dots. Comment down below if you know. And that's another thing I'm going to remember about this book is the pop art looks. And like I said, you as an artist, you need to come up with ways that the reader's going to remember your book, because the more they remember it, the more they're going to tell their friends, their peers, their coworkers, and that's what sells a book is word of mouth. And to me, what I'm going to remember are these amazing little pop art panels, and that's what I'm going to tell people, like, hey, it's got a cool, interesting Liechtenstein effect on it. You should check it out. But yeah. But no, they established that the dinosaur, it is in fact been enraged. Someone shot it in the eye with a unique, rare gun that there can only be one of in the camp. And who could it be but the dastardly skunk, or Strunk himself? You know, and it's not a big confrontation. They do it really well here. This easily could have been a shootout, a long drawn out shootout with a hostage. I'm sure in a Marvel book, he would grab him and just be like, "Oh, you're gonna shoot me through him," and then there's yada 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 yada, and then the book ends. But no, it's real quick here. Cadillac's like, "Nope, give me the gun, and you're free to go." Oh, but by the way, you probably need to go collect your prize before the buzzards do. So we see him run away, and that's another kind of cool moment in this book, is there is a lot of karma involved. You mess up with the world's gonna get you, and pretty fast too. Because as they're leaving, it turns out that that dinosaur, they mate for life. So its mate isn't too happy to see someone about to chop off its gonads. You know, and just a great way. I love the whole yep, as oftentimes as humans are in this book, they're going to F over some animals. Well, them animals are going to come back and F them. And now we're on to the second story, Mammoth Pitfall, and we're going to be seeing, our main male character, Cadillac, is cool, but I would argue that the female character, Hannah, is perhaps more badass than him. She kind of proves it in a lot of ways. Like there, she killed the big dinosaur. In this one, like, spoiler alert, we'll see her save Cadillac's skin. And I do think this is a good close up. I do wonder if this was an earlier book that he drew compared to this, because there's moments that are, much better than. Does it have a date on? Because this is 87. So when did he do? Does it say when he might have did this one? No, there is not. Oh, well, no. That would be a. Oh, it does say 87. So at the same time, but I don't know. This book I feel like just looked a lot better than the other one. Because all the close ups I feel like look really good, a lot better than that first story. And just more of that pop alert. I think it has some really good coloring, some really good typography. I love that zing. It's just a great way to separate a 6 panel spread. Like another a thing about Cadillacs and Dinosaurs is if you like vintage comics, like the 40s, 50s, 60s feel, you should read Cadillacs and Dinosaurs because it has that art style. It has that kind of storytelling. It just works really well, you know. And just again, a great primitive art of animal drawing. Like Schultz is so good at dinosaurs and prehistoric animals, you know. Um, Bless my wife if you heard her sneeze. But yeah, just a good book. I love the coloring. This page, this 2 page, process works really well here. Like I love the panel with dinosaur. That's great compositional work. The different fields. You got one field there, one field there, one field there, and it looks good. Like try to draw that. It's gonna be a little bit harder than you think. And just a good way to establish that they're being watched. And I love the coloring. That red of the works really good with the cool tones of the rocks and the earthy tones of the mammoth. So, coloring's on point there, and that's another thing. Typography don't have to be in black and white. It can be in color. So just, F around with how you want to do your coloring. Man, I just love these Liechtenstein dots on a lot of this stuff. I wonder why Mark did it, you know? So we're gonna have two antagonists or two incidents going on. The brother of a guy Cadillac killed in the first issue's back for blood, and that mammoth ain't too happy and looking to the gore good old Hannah. But just good artwork, and great. I don't know, just good artwork. The more I look at it, the more it's like, yeah, this does look more like a Hal Foster book in ways. The way it's colored, like the colored versions of Prince Valiant, kind of get this whole color palette. I don't know if I'd call them bright colors, but like classic newsprint colors, I guess I should say. But this news, it's nice paper, and even doing those classic, um, bleh, excuse me, even doing those classic, like Sunday paper tropes, like the motion lines, the big old letters, it just this book could really work as a Sunday comic. And I wonder if it ever was. I don't think it was. If you know in the comments, let me know down below. But no, I just love, this one's really good at the expressions, like a lot better than the other one. I wonder if that first story, Schultz was just having a bad couple days and he put together that story really fast, you know? But no, the stories are good, sweet, and to the point. Like they're good little snippets. I'm glad he chose this episodic format rather than every issue is going to be just one of these stories. Because there's only so much mileage you can do with good old dinosaurs, which, I'm all there for dinosaurs, but maybe some people aren't. Where's issue 4 of Tyrant? The set? Or is it issue 5? Wait, did he do 4 issues? Did he only do 3? Then I don't know. I'm getting sidetracked. I think he only did 4. I'm gonna, beat myself for not knowing that. But no, I do love the dots. They look so good. I want to know why he did it, because not every, all the backgrounds have that effect, and it really just adds some character to the book. And just think about stuff you can do. How do you add stuff to a book that'll make people remember it? We've been saying that this whole video. I guess that's the takeaway from it. From this book is make stuff people remember. If they remember it, they're going to talk about it. That means more book sales. And that's what you got to do as an artist. And so, yep, the Hannah saves him again by shooting the guy. Another good, just I loved how they use the different coloring for the blam. I just think it works really good there. And now we're on to the last story with the mammoth outside, and we're gonna see some bonding of our heroine and our male character. And probably the best drawn story in it. I just like it a lot. The color theory is really good. Like it just reeks in a good way of a vintage comic. You know what I mean? Like when I mean vintage 40s, 50s, because this is a vintage comic. It's from 87, for God's sakes. If you were born in 86, you have to be ancient, I bet. Just joking. But no, they're going to go on a little ride together and see how much that car can do. And they ride past a really, I love, this is my favorite panel of all those Triceratops. They call them Max, though, for some reason. And that's a cool thing. It's kind of like a Wolverine Jungle Adventure, calling the dinosaurs honkers. And that's another interesting thing that people are going to talk about. It's just, I love how just unique Schultz gets with his book. He could have easily called them Triceratops and T Rexes. But hey, this is set after humanity's kind of had a reset, so they're not going to know the names of those animals. I love that panel right there of a close up. It just works really good. And here's like the good way. I know at the beginning we talked about how he's kind of struggling with the dialogue. Here he's doing it good. And how is he changing it? Well, he's doing different perspectives for it. And that's something to do to keep the book flowing organically. Is have, different perspectives of people talking. If you don't, the book's going to get real stagnant real fast, and you're going to have people complain, and some people aren't even going to pick up the book anymore. They're going to be tired of it. But here it's going to flow better because it's shifting, and the reader's not just going to get stuck on one spot and be like, they've been talking like this for hours. But no, a poor mammoth's been killed. Ran into all those triceratops, which is sad because I love me a woolly mammoth. But he'll come back to save our characters in a little bit. But nope, they're going to be riding back soon. There's a storm about to approach, and old Hannah challenges Cadillac to a contest. Have the car race the storm, a true test, because Cadillac's the head engineer, a famous engineer of this place. So she wants to see if he can put his money where his mouth is on these cars. So that they do race it. And what just great depictions of a storm here, just great landscapes. I love the typography. I think it's ingenious that they use different colors. It really sells that it's a storm. Like I've talked about, if you're going to do typography or just art, a panel, a page, do it 10 different ways. See what works, see what doesn't. And I'm sure that's what they did here, is did 10 different fonts of typography, 10 different colors, see what worked. Maybe notice that, hey, it looks really good when we add different ones, and that's how you get it. And they're kind of shades of them. You got a darker red, an orange, a lighter orange, a cool tone. It just works really good right there. And some of the best pages right here is they get caught in it, the car flips, and they got to seek shelter in something. And just great rain right there. All that classic line work. The line work with that shade of gray really helps sell that it's a storm. I like it a whole lot. Some people don't get rain right, and some people get rain too good. Looking at you, Frank Miller with Marv. But I think it's done really well here, really solid. You know, it does look like a vintage comic. I feel like that's one of Cadillacs and Dinosaurs' selling points, is it looks vintage. I'm sure that's what got older. If you're a fan in '87, an older fan, and you want to read some Golden Age books, but all you're seeing is Watchmen, Ronin, Dark Knight. It's probably a refresher to see one of these art styles coming up. You know, and using the brighter colors of the typography to kind of break it up, it works good. That's a tool you can use typography for. Is just adding some to a page, and I think it does it. It's a big action part. The car flipping, that's a big deal. So having that crump really, takes the viewer's eye to it straight away. And that's just something you got to remember when you're using typography, is how to best utilize it. And it turns out the place they took refuge from was the old mammoth skeleton. You know, So a little do unto you as you would unto others. I like to think that Cadillac's so good that the Earth kind of gave them a pass from dying. Because they were getting flooded, they were getting just so much. It was just a neat way to end the book, I think. And that's book 2 of Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I gotta go buy issue 3 now. But I really like this series so far. I think it's good. The art's okay. I'll say that it's just okay for me. I'm reading it because I love dinosaurs. I'm not reading it because I love the artwork. And that's not a mean thing to Mark Schultz. He's a great artist, but his style and me just don't really click that well. Let me know if you agree below. But his dinosaurs are great. I'll say I love his dinosaur depictions. Just everything else is okay to me. His covers are always great though. But no, it's been a fun read so far. We're definitely gonna check out the rest of them. Maybe one a month or something like that, or who knows. But if you made it to the end of this video, thank you. That helps us out a lot. If this is your first ever paper cut included video, like, comment, subscribe if you found something you liked. That really helps us out. It gets the algorithm going. It gets these videos out to more and more people who like comic books. And that's the name of the game. Like I said a while ago, we're only 3 subscribers away from 40. And I just can't wait to wake up one morning and see that big 4-0 one day. And I'm hoping it happens while I'm gone on vacation. This is the last video I make before I go on vacation. Don't worry, I filmed like a week's worth of videos in advance. So you guys are covered. I'm not just going to leave you high and dry. So, woo! One of the videos I might scrap and do a pickup video on site, guerrilla style. But nope. So you guys will be good. I'm going to be in Corpus Christi in San Antonio. So if you guys know any cool comic book stores, let me know down in the description. But I guess I'll be on my march. I'll send you. I'll be on my way, and I'll send you out some marching orders. That's what I was meaning to say. Make more art.